AmandaLand, AmandaLand, AmandaLand.
Arm yourself with truth. Arm yourself with curiosity. Arm yourself with love. Arm yourself with community. Arm yourself with courage. Arm yourself with passion. Arm yourself with radical creativity. Save yourself. A new drop from AmandaLand Export.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Views from AmandaLand, your source for news and truths by any joke necessary. Thank you for waking up on the right side of history with yours truly. We are here for yet another day of, talking about things and telling the truth and shaming the devil. Telling the truth and shaming the goddamn devil. Man, we've got a lot again to go on because, yesterday we did not get to much of the show. Also want to shout out our guests. We have Blakely Neiman Thornton joining us today. He's an entrepreneur, but he's also just a smart black man. And, we always going to give props to that. Smart, funny, and funny to boot. So we're going to get into that for our 60-second headlines. We do not have an ambassador of the week today, but we do have a critical thinking exercise that we're going to go through where we talk about how Trump is dumping the judiciary. And, we've been helped out by Carrick_Ryan on the internet, who put together some great slides to help us get through. Y'all are really loving this top. There's so many complimentos. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so pleased that you all love my top so much. I was like, let me just give them some spring blossoms. I'm willing spring to come. I'm willing spring to pop up and show us itself. I feel like I'm seeing little buds on the trees. I mean, it is early for spring, but the world is vastly changing in incrementally quick, fast times. So, there's that. But yeah, so I want to say hello. I don't know about anybody else, but has this week just been like an extra? I mean, I know I had to put Lando to sleep last week, so I'm trying to be easy on myself, but I also feel like there's just a different air in the air this week. Just feels like there's this different air in the air this week. And I don't know. Is there like a astrological thing going on? I know there's like a full moon. It's an eclipse week. All right, there we go. So, whenever I can't make sense of it, I'm like, is Mercury a microwave? Is Mercury a microwave? Because I don't know, daylight savings. Okay. Apparently there's a lunar eclipse in Virgo. So there's like a lot of things. Reset in London. They had prime minister questions today at noon and it was bleak. Ay, 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 ay. It's a blood moon. Ooh, Lord, let me get out my crystals. Hey, Rachel Porter. Yeah, come on back. Good morning to you. Y'all really be tapping in like, hey, y'all. I feel like we're in class and you're like peeking your head into the classroom. You know what I'm saying? When the other teachers would be like, hey, just wanted to say hi, guys. All right, I'll see you later. That's what it feels like. Hi, guys. When y'all be doing that, it's funny. No, okay, so we don't charge crystals. Oh, okay. See how I be learning from the AmandaLanders? No charging crystals during eclipse week. Skies are too chaotic and unpredictable. Okay, so I'm gonna tuck the crystals. I'm gonna tuck them. I'm working on a lecture. You know, more Marquise. He's not. I don't think Marquise is in here yet, but Marquise been on my head about a lecture, about putting together a lecture. I'm putting together a lecture on resistance and getting our minds wrapped around what that means under the acronym PIES. No, under the acronym SPIES. Okay, under the acronym SPIES, and the acronym stands for. Hold on, because I wrote it down. Support, purpose, intention, education, spirit. So I'm going to get to that. It's also tax week. My accountant hit me last night at 9:45. Like, I need this information stat. I'm like, I emailed you about this a week ago. And you telling me now at 9:45 that you need this information stat? Ma'am, what? Ma'am. Also, like, can we get on the phone? Please. Talking about I'm available at 8:40 a.m. I was not available at 8:40 a.m. Are you crazy? This lady you sent me an email at 8:29 saying you're available in 10 minutes. Ma'am, we gonna have a talk. Yeah, I needed more than 10 minutes. I needed more than 10 minutes notice. Hold on. People are out of their daggone minds. All right. Sorry, I just need to email her immediately because it's like, ma'am, what are we doing? Anywho, so we have things to talk about. First, reminder that we have SFB at the movies going on. I keep reminding y'all of this. You can get your tickets to come and join me to watch They Clone Tyrone and to talk about comedy as commentary. Imperative that we do that because we need to continue to address the ways in which the arts can be used, the ways in which we can identify. Also, I just think it's going to be fun to look at this movie through a lens. Like, this is the type of movie where you watch it by yourself and you like, I don't know that I got everything. Like, I don't know if I got everything. And so now we will be watching it together so that we can be like, oh, okay. So I had thought that, but I wasn't sure. Like, this is that type of movie. Like, there's certain books like that too, where you can't just, read the book and then live your life. Like The Bluest Eye, you read The Bluest Eye by yourself, you're going to have a very, 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 very different experience than you read it in a class. That's for the facts. Okay. That's for the facts. You can also check out my exclusive interview with the Topper Shanks. I really loved doing this and playing this character. I've had this character. This character has been alive and in existence since 2007. Topper Shanks since 2007. And, I want to continue this and have her interview people, but I don't know who she should interview. Cause I've been trying to think like what will be the right pocket for her to exist in. You know what I'm saying? What is the right space for her to exist in? And remember, you can watch this at Patreon without being a paid subscriber. You can just be a subscriber. You can just be a subscriber to the Patreon platform. You don't have to be a paid subscriber. So I want to make sure to make that clear for all of you all who are like, damn, why is she charging? Okay. Let's get into our church announcements. Remember, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're here. Tell the people. I don't know why these numbers are so low this morning, but I don't know. Maybe people had to go strike. I don't know. Maybe people had other things to do. But Nonetheless, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Please subscribe. As you all know, please subscribe, comment, like, subscribe, all the things. My my ex's daughter, she was so into YouTube, like that we would do this. We'd be like, tell us your YouTube. And she'd be like, what's up, y'all? I'm Savannah. And you come on my YouTube. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'm like, damn, these kids really be on these YouTubes. Remember to watch for at least 20 minutes. And please replay the episode and let the ads play. Let them live. Let them ride out. Let them do what they do. Remember, you can also leave a comment in the comments after, and that will also be very, very helpful as well. Okay. Very, very helpful as well. Remember to drop a seal in the chat if you like something I've said. Also, subscribe to Patreon, all the things. I don't know why I have no real energy today. I think maybe it is that moon, that blood moon. A lot of marches this week from Mahmoud Khalil. I did hear that the reason why they took him to Louisiana is because when it comes to deportation cases, they will purposely find districts that have judges that have a habit of ruling against the deportee. And so they literally brought him to a district where that is the case. Again, just to see how this is so egregiously taking place should really, really concern you very, very deeply. We should all be yelling that this is not cool. They're absolutely saying it does not matter that this man is an actual citizen it does not matter that this man is an actual legal resident. They can just be like, no, you don't belong here. And he did not commit a crime. And I don't know if you saw the White House press conference with that lipless lovely, where someone from the AP, not someone from the AP, someone from, it was a reporter, I can't remember where the reporter was from, but he was like, does the White House feel like he has to have committed a crime to deport him? Which was a very, very prescriptive way of pointing that question. And it was AP? Okay. And she was like, well, Marco Rubio, basically she said Marco Rubio figured out a crime that he committed. So that's that. That's essentially what she said. Marco Rubio figured out a crime. So why are you bothering me? The crime, they claim, is from a precedent from 1952 during the McCarthyism era, by the way, that essentially says if we feel like your presence, if we feel like you are dangerous to the United States, we can just like dead your whole situation, and you don't have to go through the actual constitutional rulings the actual constitutional requirements of trial. And I want people to understand that when you become a green card holder, you actually do get to be represented by the Constitution. That's not just for citizens. That's for anyone that has been given, legal representation here in the United States. So, y'all talk about calling senators. I don't know. Listen. I don't know. I know that y'all are like, call your senators and tell them not to vote on the CR and the continuing resolution. I don't know about you. I just feel like calling these senators at this point, it's like, what? They don't care about you. They don't care about you. I don't know that it really, I just don't know that it makes sense to call Republican senators. It's like, why? I just feel like there's other places to put your energy than calling Republican senators who are literally walking out on their constituencies who are meeting with them. So I don't know that it really is worth doing that. I know people are in here talking about, well, I don't want to vote. Voting federally hasn't mattered for a while, but voting in your local and state elections is absolutely necessary. I know that there's gerrymandering and whatnot, but it's also necessary because it's also how they determine funding for things. And particularly if you live in states like Texas and Tennessee and North Carolina and South Carolina and Idaho and Iowa and Ohio, like these are places where it is incredibly important that we find some ground between organizing and legislation. Now, Nikki B said, should we hold our own town halls? Yes. Yes, we should. I've been trying to wrap my head around this for a second now. A second in Black Talk is a long time, for the record. Because it's like, to what end? To what end? So, yes, I agree with you. Let's get into our word of the day. Actually, wait, before we get into our word of the day, I don't know why I keep forgetting this, but we need to find out where y'all at. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby-Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo. Come on, Sales Squad. AmandaLanders here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you from. All right, y'all, where y'all from? Where y'all from? Where y'all from? Who? Well, where y'all watching from? AmandaLanders here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you're watching from. We got Newark, Wisconsin, San Antonio, Vegas, Berkeley, California, Mac City, Discovery Bay, Jamaica, and we're still here from Germany. We are so international, y'all. Rochester, New York, Nina from Long Beach, California, Oxford County, Ontario, San Francisco, Brooklyn, running late in Portland, Oregon, Utah, South Kakalaki, New York, another New York, and Atlanta, GA. We got España in the building, Watley, Alabama. And someone said, in Providence, we have a General Assembly of community members, no politicians, and we have came up with groups for community defense, mutual aid, immigration protections, and a lot more organizing. Thank you, Vanessa. All right, let's keep going. We got Connecticut, DC, Durham, North Carolina, Delray Beach, Florida. She said, I'm cleaning while listening to you. That makes me feel really good because that means you're listening to me instead of Anita Baker, which is amazing. Dallas, Texas, London on a sunny interval Wednesday, Morristown, New Jersey. Yeah. AmandaLanders here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you're watching from. We got Guelph, Ontario. That's a weird name for a place. We got Tulsa, Fontana, California, Los Angeles, St. Louis, Utah. What's that like? Tallahassee, Florida. Good morning. Jersey's in the house. Where's my international folks? I want to see where you are on the globe so we can add more pins to our map. AmandaLanders here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you from. Reagan just found out that there's someone else from Tulsa in the building and she hype. Yay! Y'all need to meet up and have an AmandaLanders meetup. That's right. Oh, the Eagles are going to the White House now? Oh, they going to the White House now? You know what? Don't nobody stand for nothing! God damn! Is Jalen gonna go? Not Jalen and his black wife. I know they not gonna go. You know what? Marquis said they gonna play Dreams and Nightmares. I used to pray for times like this to rap like this. You're gonna almost finish. I just scared the cat. Sorry, Jedi. Let's get into our word of the day. That just took the wind out my sails. Our word of the day is legarity, y'all. Legarity, quickness of mind and body. The way that I just jumped into that Meek Mill record just demonstrated my cat Jedi's legarity because she got the F out of job. I mean, out of Dodge. Why did I say job? The F out of the F out of Doge. Okay, Marquise, how you don't like that song? Are you from Philly? Get out of here. That song is amazing. That song is amazing. All right, legarity. Quickness of mind or body. It's a noun spelled Legerity. Y'all know y'all want an etymology, so you better be in the etymology in the comments, because y'all know I'm not doing that work. Fatima, you're right. The legerity of the people after Mahmoud's detainment is so inspiring and gives me faith in humanity. I agree. Let's see. Angela said she figured they would pressure the team to go to the White House. Well, at some point I'm just like, when are y'all actually your own people? When does that happen? Because it's seeming like you're really indentured servants. Okay. Reese said Amanda has vast legerity. Is it legerity or legerity? I think it's legerity. Amanda has vast legerity, which is what makes her such an entertaining, informative individual. My cat just came back. You back? Thank you. I'm sorry about that. All right, let's keep it going. Slick and Slacious, which is a great name. See, this is why I have to make sure to speak slowly, because my legerity can get channeled through my tongue. Ooh, you sound like my mama. My mama got a fast, quick, sharp tongue. I'd be like, cut it. Yes, Joni. Ultimately bowing to the king. It's like, why are y'all going to King's Landing when you know they might behead Ned Stark when you get there? Like, that's what happens when people go there. They could end up getting beheaded, and you gonna keep going to King's Landing? Stop going there. Oh, my God. Carmen said, running after my 2-year-old requires me to find some legerity. That's when y'all be like, I'm having kids at 43. I'm like, ooh, I hope you got some Ben Gay with that legerity. Anthony Brown said the etymology is Middle French, légerité. From Old French, lightness. From leger, light. From Vulgar Latin, levirius, which definitely sounds like somebody I went to high school with. From Latin levis. Because, in Florida, all the black men's names start with a L. It's not just Marcus, it's LaMarcus. It's not just Darius, it's LaDarius. So Lavarius, that sound right. All right, let's get one more because our guest is here. Apparently legerity is also a hair care line. Okay. It's funny that you say that I had a dream that I was pregnant. I had a dream that I was pregnant. I was 48. Ooh, child. In these days and times where they trying to get on contraception, that sound like a lot. Pregnant at 48? That sounds like a reality show I don't want to be the star of. Okay. Let's get to our last one. Let's find the last one. Okay, well, let me go. Momai says it'll go from immigrants to legal residents. And dang, come on now. We need a legerity sentence. Let's get a last legerity sentence. Anybody got a sentence that's going to make me impressed? Well, you know what? We'll do this. We'll end on a compliment. Amanda's legerity and ease of her show is exceptional. Thank you. I appreciate you. It is time for us to get into our 60-second headlines with our guest. So let's do it. I'm slow motion today, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry. AmandaLand. 60-second headline. Gonna run down some news right quick.
Run it down, mama. Put us on.
Let's welcome to the stage our guest today, Mr. Blakely.
Hello.
Homosexual with opinions. Yes.
That's my brand.
That's your brand. It's enough for me. It's enough. Welcome to Views from AmandaLand, Blakely. How are you doing this morning?
Thank you for having me. I've been through, we're live. I'm not currently detained. So for a minority in America, we are fucking winning. And that's
no cursing because YouTube be hating.
Sorry, no cursing. We are winning. I'm a free homosexual, so we're winning today.
I really wonder when that's going to end.
Like 10 months. I'd say December at this point, at this rate.
That's so, it's
I'm not.
like it's surreal, but these are real, like, because this has happened in other places.
Yeah.
So to think that it's not going to happen here is
history repeats
silly.
itself. History repeats itself.
I heard a great quote that said, history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes.
Ooh. Damn.
Right?
Damn, I felt that.
Right? It hit you. History doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. Yeah. If you all don't know, you can follow Blakely on the Instagrams. And Blakely is an entrepreneur. He has some sunglasses that are coming, slutty little
I do.
I was like, I want to pee.
We're in capitalism, you know?
We're in capitalism. And I came across Blakely because I just really be looking for folks that have real thoughts and real views and that are able to express themselves in intriguing ways, because we are in a time where we understand that mainstream media just ain't it. So you're going to have to get your insights. You're going to have to get your opinions, but you're also going to have to get your knowledge and information from other sources. And Blakely, you have a good blend of politics and pop culture going on.
I mean, I think they're all connected. They're all controlled by a similar cabal of human being. The news is entertainment, which all flows down to everything from, you know, what we buy in the stores to the Oscars. And it's all pretty much run by a cabal of crazy white men. So
do you all understand why Blakely is here now? People be like, why don't you bring on people that think differently than you? Because I'm not interested in talking to them. Because their reasons for thinking differently are never fact-based.
No. Feelings aren't facts. If you feel oppressed because, like, you can't say the N-word anymore, like, why are we having a debate? Sorry. Go home.
Did you by any chance watch Surrounded with Sam Cedar? So, okay. Please take your time and watch it, because you're going to be annoyed, but it'll be like a fulfilling annoyance.
Okay.
So this channel on YouTube, Jubilee, they do these things called Surrounded, where it'll be like one progressive surrounded by 20 MAGAs. And I've
seen it, actually. I take it back. I've seen a lot of it on Instagram and the TikTok. And
yes. There's one particular gay who just embarrassed himself. And Jabuki was like, does anyone have any tea on this man? We need to know.
It was like, y'all white gays. It was like, y'all. He was like, what are you doing? Like, Tyra, we were all rooting for you. We got up there. We saw your name, Chad. We were like, he's going to at least not embarrass us.
He did. He did. Damn. Sam was like, there are no tax cuts for government agencies. Yes, there are. That's the other thing. It was the condescension. Yes, there are.
I love a loud and wrong Caucasian. That is their brand. It is to be loud and proud and just incorrect. Incorrect. Like, so incorrect, you're emotionally bewildered. You're like, like what? Like, gravity is a lie invented by Satanists. And you're like,
is it?
Okay.
Like, it's right. Like, it's very invasive. And he was like, that's not true. Also, by the way, that's not true. It's like, if you say I didn't know that, or if you say I need to research that,
exactly,
right? Like, I need to research that is way better than that's not true.
Like, cite your sources, babe. I always say cite your sources. This is why I don't trust anybody that doesn't know the Dewey Decimal System, because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Go to a library, okay, babe? Where's the appendix? If you don't know what those things are,
we're excited.
I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I had to start really, like, living in that. Amanda, they can't cite their source. Do not have this argument. Please do not have this argument. I'm going to do a switcheroony on you with one of these stories.
Okay.
That I'm sure you'll appreciate. We got to talk about how these folks really just said, F your Black Lives Matter. They said, get it out of here. Y'all, they said Black lives absolutely do not matter. Get it out of here. I'm playing the sound of the, because I really want y'all to hear the jackhammer, because they should get it out of here. So, y'all, they really said we're done with Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Get it out of here. They said we're not going to keep this Black Lives Matter square in DC. By the way, DC has a black mayor, Muriel Bowser. What how do you feel about this?
I always think when we're living in these times, I always think back to that quote by Lars von Trier that depressed people are better in an emergency because they expected bad things to happen. So for me, it's like when you elect a racist bigot, you're going to get racist bigoted stuff. So everybody's aghast every week. And I'm like, oh.
Okay, but wait, I do not believe that we elected this man. So let me just make this clear. From my point of view, this is a rigged election. I don't think any.
When you have a racist bigot in power,
okay, fair.
They're going to do racist bigoted stuff. So I was like, okay, that tracks. Like, I'm just dead inside. I've been dead inside. I cried all the tears I had November 5th or November 6th, and now I'm like, okay, we're in it. Emotion. It's because if we give the emotional cadence that we should to everything happening every day.
No, you're right.
I would just lay down in a ball and be like, all right, just like.
That's how I feel, though. I feel like I want to lay down in a ball. One last cry.
On me. It's just like, let your love to shine. I would just like listen to SWV and die. Like, that's what I would do. That's
These people know how I feel about SWV, so that sounds like a great way to go. Right? Like, I'll just put on the playlist.
Joy is evolution, baby.
Right. By the way, I remember being in Office Depot and they were playing Downtown, and I was like, I don't think they know what this song is about. They might as well play From the Windows to the Walls next.
It's like all those white bridal parties playing Not Like Us. Bitch, what are you doing? Sorry. Stop it. Stop it, Kendall.
They're talking about you.
Stop it. They're talking about your husband.
Apparently they're renaming this so this is in DC. This was painted in DC. It was Black Lives Matter Square. It was painted in 2020 during the BLM protests. Apparently they are digging it all up and they're naming it Liberty Square.
Okay, sure. Okay. That all I can say is that tracks. This is what we're the bar is in hell and we're under it. I feel like all people keep saying.
Go ahead. Sorry.
People keep saying like when the aliens come, like the aliens are not coming here. We are the universal trailer park. We're not even the ghetto. The ghettos at least has some excitement and culture. We are the trailer park. We are like they thought better of it. They were like,
we're in Ozark.
Exactly. We are the Ozarks, and they're just like, why would we go there? What's the point?
You know what? I believe that the aliens are here. Maybe the good aliens will come to beat up the bad aliens. I really feel like these people are aliens, Blakely, because I'm like, how do you ruin a planet you living on unless you really think that, unless you're like, we got somewhere else to be?
They're going home, girl. They're going home. They're like, this vacation was good. It's ghetto now. Get us out. We don't have time.
Like, time exists differently for them. They like, this little millennia, baby, that's a day for us. We just ruining this thing in the quick, fast fashion. Rockwell Speaking Facts said, I think that this election then was make Black people less emotional towards everything that was being done to Black folks, like this Black Lives Matter and then taking back civil rights. I'm going to interpret this because I feel like you was typing fast, but I do feel like there's a certain desensitization that has happened with this election, especially when there was this push to say, well, the Black women voted and you didn't get what you wanted. And now the Black women in the 92% are like, well, we're not going to do anything. And I feel like that was what they was looking for.
By design. It is working. It's work. Don't get me wrong. I'm desensitized. I'm not having the correct emotional response. Will I continue to fight? Will I continue to speak? 100%.
But why? Why is that? Because that's just how you are.
Survival instinct.
Yeah.
Stubbornness. I don't know. I'm a Scorpio. I'm just like,
look at us. I'm a Cancer.
Right? Like, I feel like I am sexually aroused by the thought of an enemy. So like this is working for me on some unhealed level. I'm like, let's do it. Let's die together. let's see who breaks first. All right.
It's a game of chicken of the worst kind.
Truly, with life or death stakes.
It really is. Oh my God, you bringing me so much joy. I knew it. You know what? Let me also, and I'm going to say this publicly. Let me also say, It was so easy to get Blakely on this damn show, y'all.
100%. I was like, done. I responded in like 2 minutes. I was like, Amanda.
Blakely, it really don't be that easy all the time. Listen, folks be like, what's the payment? I'm like,
Girl.
And it be the ones who be on there all day talking about community. You know, we need community. We need to do community. We need to create community. And then they be like, what's the payment for me to come on your little YouTube show that you make $2 from?
That's what I asked studios. I'm like, how much are you paying me? No, thank you. No, thank you, Paramount.
Like,
fly me, coach. Goodbye.
That makes sense. That makes sense. You hit them in the head. Why you hitting me in the head? Like, or it'll be like, you know, can you send me a breakdown of all the topics that will be discussed, how long I need to be on the show, and also what is the marketing plan? Like, literally, and this be like quote unquote influencers, people who don't. This is not their day job. Like, this is just like, I be making videos, and it's really because people really are caught up in capitalism in a real way. That's what it feels like to me.
I think we've conflicted. Like, we treat people like companies and companies like people. We've really just inverted those two relationships on a cellular level across society. And I think that is the issue. We're like, oh, like, let's let poor people pay taxes, but Amazon doesn't. Like, let's let a company treat me like shit for exposure. But when my friend asks me for something, be like, knuckle crack.
Really though, Blakely, like, that's very real. I just experienced that earlier this year, where it's like, I'm not going to help you move in, not even move in, like, just like put stuff away because I'm working 2 jobs a week that I need to. And it's like, but these jobs ain't even real. Like you're giving more energy to that than
the company is not your friend. That's
no.
what people understand. I think the toxicity of like startup culture, when it's like, we're a family, there's iced coffee and a ping pong table. And I would always get pulled into HR when I had corporate jobs because I was like, I'm not your friend. Like, we exist through capitalism. We exist because I need money to live.
This is not Dunder Mifflin.
And that's embarrassing. That's why I'm here. But like, sometimes a secondary friendship can occur. But if you're pissing me off on this level, you don't exist to me on the second one. So like, if you're not paying me properly, if you're jerking me around, I'm not going to speak to you. And
you know, that's what people don't understand about me on Insecure. They really don't understand that. Like, Insecure was a job. Right? It's a job. It's a show. It's a job. And so it's like, if I'm not being treated in a way that makes me feel secure, safe, et cetera, then I'm not going to give to it, like, energy wise beyond the job. Like, I'm not going to do that.
People also conflate. I think the people conflate that because it's the creation of art too. It's like, you were at a giant company with hundreds of people working on a production for money. And people are like, but y'all are sisters. It's like, I can enjoy the episode and I don't need you and Natasha Rothwell to get along to love that bottle episode. I can love y'all separately as people that I don't know and have existed parasocially with and be like, I don't need you to go to drinks. I don't need, when you're in interviews about White Lotus and your comedy special, to say we all are on a group chat. I don't require that for the art to have meaning to me.
Yeah.
And I think because of the good job you've all done creating parasocial relationships with fictional characters, that people are like, every time they mention each other, if it's not a key, like, y'all have done something wrong. All of you.
And I'm like, we made a show. We made a great show.
You did a great job. Made a great show. I don't need you to be like, I don't need you to be Kelly. I don't need you to be
Tiffany. And we didn't need to be those things.
No.
And that's the same in any workplace. Like, I don't need to be your bestie to get these PTS reports done. Like,
I just think the weirdness that the media takes hold of that with all of you is very strange. Because I'm like, in my opinion, I'm more impressed. Y'all are all great actresses. If they did their jobs in an excellent manner in a stressful situation, like, that actually makes me appreciate it more. I don't know.
Same. Like, because that's how I felt when I found out that the cast of Sex and the City weren't all, you know, chumming along. Y'all don't understand. Shooting and filming is arduous. You on set for 16 hours. So being on set for 16 hours with people who aren't necessarily like your buddies and still being able to deliver and show up and act buddy on camera, baby, that's professionalism.
Right? Like, I'm just like, I think with women, that's the thing. It's very strange, but we can talk about that. I can go off on a tangent about this, but when men are aggressive and mean for work, it's like the arduous task of art. And when women aren't, it's like there's some kind of inherent betrayal in what they've done to all of us. It's like, you tricked me. It's like, well, that's literally the point of acting.
I had someone say, I remember seeing a comment one time where someone was like, you can tell that you're phony just by the character choice that you're playing.
Girl.
That's
people
acting.
The internet is in the upside down. The internet is truly in the upside down. Like, I literally was being called an Uncle Tom on TikTok for saying I don't trust Justin Baldoni. I'm like, that's not how that works. if I mistrust a white man, that's not.
What?
Okay. I was like, I give up. Again, cue the SWV and drown me.
Rain down on me. Yeah, word. Let your love just swallow me like rain.
Truly.
It's Joni brings a good point. That's why people get upset when famous people get divorced. They are furious.
I don't care.
It's so true, Joni. Furious.
I'm not invested in heterosexual love. Also, cheat. Be open. Y'all are so invested in this biblical transfer of property, monogamy BS. Let people cheat. Let people be open. Let people get back together. Spin the block. Also, I just don't care. Straight people are boring. I don't care.
I don't care. Someone told me recently, they were like, well, a common thing that people say to me is, you wouldn't have so many opinions if you were married with kids. I would have opinions about being married with kids. Like,
more opinions.
I'd have more opinions.
Raising human life doesn't make sure it really numbs you inside, right, guys?
Listen, people are. You're right, though. When I think about the internet being the upside down, that's a great way to put it, because I do believe that we are in the upside down. Let's talk about colonizers. So, y'all, the Congo has decided, you know what? Why don't we just start hanging out with the U.S.? And this really hurt my soul, because I know a lot of folks Blakely, a lot of people be like, why y'all ain't talking about the Congo? Why y'all ain't talking about the Congo? And I'm like, well, why aren't you talking about the Congo? And if you are talking about the Congo, like, what are you going to say about it? Okay.
Exactly.
What are you going to say about it? So let me just give you all an update on what's going on in the Congo. So on February 21st, a lobbyist representing the Congolese senator Pierre Kanda Kalambayi sent letters to the U.S. Okay, he sent letters to the U.S. saying, like, "Hey, what y'all think about?"
Hey, girl, what's up?
Hey, y'all, what y'all think about like linking up, like me and you getting together with these regionals, with these minerals to enforce regional stability. Okay. And the president, Felix Tshisekedi, recently hinted at this as well in an interview for the New York Times, while a State Department spokesperson also confirmed the situation. So the DRC is endowed with a significant share of the world's critical minerals required for advanced technologies. Now, we know this because we know that they are over there getting the needed minerals for making iPhones and lithium batteries, et cetera, et cetera. What I also want to remind y'all, if you didn't know, is that the DRC was also where they got the uranium for the atomic bomb.
Thank you. That when it said uranium, I was like, bombs.
Bombs. Okay. The lawsuits, they also have a lot of interest for Trump's America's First agenda. Mm-hmm. If you've looked at the America's First agenda, it's a lot of BS, right? Like, it's a lot of saying terrible things in really nice ways. But it really is just saying we're going to be the most lethal country ever. Yeah,
very much America first, with, like, the salute that they all like to use from the 40s. History rhyming, if it were.
So let me give you some of the minerals. The DRC has significant mineral resources, including cobalt, lithium, copper, tantalum, uranium. It is a global leader in cobalt production, supplying over 70% 70% of the metals production, and cobalt is, of course, essential for electric vehicle batteries and renewable energy technologies. On top of illegal mining and smuggling, which has been going on there, the escalated armed conflicts are also continuing, and they are saying that that's why they want to bring in the United States to help them quell the M23 and all of this. Thoughts?
Yeah, this is just basically iPhones and Palantir technologies. Like, this is basically everybody that's in bed with the US, whether it be, again, Palantir, which is highly defense contracts, Elon Musk with Starlink. This is all to make cheap stuff for the people that are in bed with the fascist organization that is masquerading as the presidency. So it's kind of like, hey girl, let's link up and commit felonies. Like that's literally what it's like, the Mean Girls text, but like war crimes. So like that, it's,
you know, I keep talking about Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat because I just watched this documentary, and it's about how Congo was trying to get independence, and they were like, okay, we're gonna give you independence, and then the next day started bombing them. And then, of course, the CIA went in and assassinated Patrice Lumumba. And this was also done with the support of certain Congolese leaders. Okay, so it's never. By the way, I want to make that clear. It's never just the U.S. Like, it requires the complicity of greed and ego in these countries for this to happen, which Malema was talking about in South Africa recently, and he was just like, all of this stuff that happens in Africa, he's like, we could blame the colonizers for a certain extent, but he was like, it's also your African leaders. He was like, your African leaders are greedy. And he was like, you know, you can't blame them for being who they are, like the colonizers. He was like, they're going to come and they're going to take. He was like, but when you look at China and Russia, he was like, China and Russia are actually not coming here to colonize. It's that your leaders are greedy and they're giving them more than they're asking for. And I thought that was a fascinating thing to hear. He was like, yeah, they're giving them more than they're asking for because they're thinking about their families. They're thinking about their legacies. And so they're like, oh, you want this 50% or 20% of these minerals? Fine. But if I give you 50, what do you give me? And I'm just like,
I mean, it's just absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that transcends race completely. But also just like, do people
say that again?
And that transcends race. Absolute power corrupting, absolutely. And I feel like that's all people. I feel like when you get too much power or too much corruption, and that is your logic center or your highest order of operations, that works. All skin folk get kinfolk, and that's global. Number one. Yeah. But I think too, it's like, I also think like, would the US care if there weren't minerals? Like, because I mean, there are people dying all over that are of various shades of brown. And when it's not something in it for us, we do not engage. So I feel like, why aren't people?
Well, I saw this too. Jason Stearns, a Congo expert at Canada's Simon Fraser University, said the U.S. does not have state-owned companies like China does, and no private American mining companies currently operate in Congo. So if the Congolese want to make this work, it will probably not be by offering a U.S. company a mining concession. They'll have to look at more complicated ways of engaging the U.S., aka military bases.
I mean,
in the center of Africa.
It's just like, it's sometimes I just wake up and it's like, this is heavy sigh. Usually I can like think pretty quickly, but like but I'm like, this is the case where it's such a storied history of exploitation and separation and class systems being engaged. And it also makes me think of, have you ever seen the Cynthia Erivo movie Drift? Where she basically plays, she is a woman who basically is living in Greece, like on beaches and like basically like scrapping food from a resort. But then it turns out in her past, she was like the daughter of a warlord in an African country, and like child soldiers came and like ravaged her family, and she survived this, and you find that out in the end. So I feel like that kind of cycle in different ways just flows up and down the continent to a certain extent, to the point where it's almost like, what's that knot called, like a Gordian knot, where like the politics of it is so tied up that when you try to fix it with a simple solution, it actually grows tighter. And that's what I feel about this situation.
Let's just pause real quick. Blakely, tell me about yourself, because you just be making references that make it very clear that you are a well-read, well-learned, well-interested, curious person. So please just give us some background on the Blakely Thornton.
Oh, okay. Well, hero's journey, born in Dallas, Texas in 1985. And I really believe the core of my capacity for knowledge is that, like, whenever I didn't know what a word meant, my mom would like make me go look it up. So I feel like the word of the day here, I was like, I feel like I am back in my childhood. Like, Mom, what's that? She's like, Encyclopedia Britannica.
Right.
So like, I feel like the entire thought process of my mind is like, why is this the way it is? Whether it's politics, whether it's the Oscars, like, seeing the Oscars, seeing Honora, who's the voting body? What percent is male? What percent is European? What's going on? Who was the director? Who was the writer? And like, the math is there. Like, when you go and look at this stuff, but I feel like people just, to me, it seems like, why wouldn't you look? And I feel like a lot of people accept things for why they are. But, went to college, was closeted, played college football at the University of Pennsylvania, thought I wanted to be a banker, hated it.
What position?
I was a fullback. It's a dead position now. Now it's just 2 tight ends, but
okay.
Yeah, it was very.
Did you enjoy football?
No, I'm psychotically competitive, but it was truly a comedy of errors. It was not for me, because a football locker room is all at once the most homoerotic and homophobic place in existence. Like, everyone.
Did you know you were closeted?
100%.
Okay.
100. Because like, everyone is wearing a mask there, which makes it frightening, because even straight men are putting on this bravado, and then I'm gay. And then also, I've told this story in a couple of podcasts, but like, the first day of preseason camp, their joke is to like pretend they're going to sexually assault you. They pick one freshman and they do this. So it's my first time showering with men, because I went to little prep school, so we all had little old. But I was like, no, I'm closeted. I'm in a pit shower room in like a locker room from like the 90s or whatever. And one of the seniors goes, "You're a little bitch. You're a little whore. You want this dick." And then all the seniors start going,
they're not going to monetize this
shot.
video.
I'm sorry.
It's over.
Sorry. Sorry.
That was they were like, we're going to let the rest slide. But that one, they're like, nope.
Anyway, all the seniors pretend they are going to essay me. All the freshmen walk out. And the joke is that they throw soap in your face as if it is a... And I was scarred for life. But, I've talked about it in therapy. I feel like that's why I kind of cope through humor. But also, I think I'll write a movie about it one day. But
I was going to say, yes. But now that you're contextualizing this for me, I can see it. You are giving me Dallas football fine. You are. It is Dallas football fineness. I see it. I see it.
Without the ability.
Like, I would have absolutely been hollering, even though I'm like, I think he's gay, but...
I still get that on Instagram. They're like, if you ever want a lavender marriage, I'm like, no. I don't. But also, I want you to want better for yourself. Like, it's dark out there for educated Black women. They're like, whatever, you can cheat on me. At least you're emotionally aware.
Listen.
I'm like, guys, no, we all, there's somebody for everybody.
Did you enjoy college?
I almost don't really remember it,
because you were playing football there.
You're playing football, you're closeted. Also, like, Ivy League schools, they're degenerates. And I was
well, I went to an Ivy for graduate, so it's different, because I was like in a very specific area of study. Yes. But I can imagine for undergrad, because I went to SUNY Purchase, which might as well be a gay and lesbian university. Because you're in the minority if you're straight at SUNY Purchase.
UPenn is where all the wild money New York kids that didn't get into Harvard, Princeton, or Yale go. So they all come down to Penn. Penn is their safety school. It's West Philadelphia. They don't care for committing crimes. It's West Philadelphia. There are people getting shot over there.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't know there were open container laws till I graduated. I used to like walk somewhere with a 40, smash it, and just like walk into the bar, because like, it's West Philly. If you're not actively shooting someone, they're just like, go home.
Right. Get out of here, kiddo.
Get out of here, you little kid.
Well, I mean, and so now, where do you find yourself?
I am at an intersection where, like, I comment on pop culture, but I'm also somehow becoming a part of it. So I'm like dipping the toe into acting, dipping the toe into writing and podcasting, which is very new, because I like my position where, God bless, or actually not God bless, like, through Daddy Zuckerberg, though I hate him, I don't have a boss, really. So I can speak about things as I'm not at the behest of Disney or Paramount or Spotify. So I can ask, what is wrong with this man? what's going on with that man? And like, you know, I'm signed with CAA. To the frustration of my agent, many times I'm like, no Amazon, no Spotify, no Walmart. So
who's your agent at CAA?
Arlita Fowler.
Arlita Fowler, I don't know.
Black woman, she's great. And she understands. I told her when I signed, I was like, look, some people are going to come across the desk and I'm going to be like, hell no.
Yes.
And I always say my integrity is never going to be cheaper than it is right now. So if I, the stakes will only be raised. And if I can excuse it for, you know, this check, the next check, I'll be like, well, I did it for that much. So why not just slide? And that's like, my thing I say is your highest order of operations cannot be capitalism. That is why we are in the situation we were in, is because everybody makes moves for fear or to protect a future dollar. That's leads us all societally circling the drain, which is where we are now.
I could not agree with you more. And it is scary what it's going to take for that to be shaken out of people.
For real. But also exciting because white people aren't ready. Because we know, like my white friend, I love her. She texted me. She's like, "What's going on? Our rights are taken away." I'm like, "Baby, I'm a gay black man. This is every 4 years." I'm always like, "Am I a person?" Every election cycle, and now you're like, "What's happening?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, I'm getting a leather vest, a bat with nails. This is the Warriors. Like, let's go.
We were just saying yesterday that we need to make protest vests like the dogs be having coyote jackets.
Right.
And they have spikes on the vest so that when the cops come for you, it's like, you can't get me.
Like we're going out, but like it's going to be like fabulous. I'm gonna go out just swinging. Like, let's do it.
So Leah just said black people aren't ready either, in my opinion. And I will tell you this. Particular blacks are not ready. The blacks who have assigned themselves to capitalism are also not ready. The blacks who are like, I made it. We made it. We're safe. Nope.
No, we're not, babe. No, we're not. But that's the old school talented 10 thinking. Like my mom used to say,
yes,
when we would like drive from like Texas to California, my sister moved to LA. And she's like, wear your Northwestern and Penn sweatshirts. Like for some reason, there's that thought process that like the presentation or assimilation to something they trust will save you. Yeah. Maybe that was over. That boy got blown away by a pickup truck. That destroyed all the Jack and Jill in my mind. That like seeing those kids get killed in 2020.
You're talking about Ahmaud Arbery?
Yes, blew the pretense out of me. Yeah. I was like, oh wait, your pen degree is not going to save you. Not getting tattoos is not going to save you. Like being
how tall are you?
6'2".
Oh wow. I mean, what are you gonna do?
When I go home,
you're a tall, broad-shouldered black man.
When I go home and I jog outside when I'm in Texas, I'm like, you're like, okay, be like, where? Like, I'm always ready to duck and cover, and I'm like, because we've seen the consequences of like, you know, existing without like thoughts of personal safety.
Well, there are blacks who protested on the 28th, on February 28th. But it was beyond black folks, though, right? Like it was.
Everybody's mad at Target, and honestly, Target was a bougie black. Target, I feel betrayed. It was a bougie black bastion for me. It was like, where you gonna find the Negroes at brunch? Up in Target. Up in Super Target.
Honestly, I have not stepped in a Target since they rolled back DEI. I won't say that I miss it, but there are times where I have to be like, I know I could get that at Target. But I got to figure it. Instead, I have to figure out how to get it.
But I feel like that the Target is, again, a taste of the combination of the attention economy and convenience-based capitalism has caused it to be so hard to get people to exit something. They're like, well, I can get it now. It's like, but why don't we just stop and take the extra 17 seconds to figure out where you can get it somewhere else? And we've been trained from Amazon algorithms,
yes,
and everything else, not to the amount of times we are on a group text and I can tell my mom and sister, don't go there. You get that face cream? Did you go to Target today? But you have to, because I mean, we vote with our dollar. We have $1.7 trillion in spending power, and again, this is from Trading Places. The way you hurt white people and white rich people is by making them poor. That is the language they understand in capitalism. So like, drive it to the ground. Tesla, Target, destroy it. Destroy the monetary value.
Destroy it. Now, there was actually response. Like there were literal ways in which these companies took L's. I'll give you all some insights. So on Blackout Day, the Target website visitors dropped 9% compared to Friday, February 14th, which was a week before, so it dropped from 5.2 million to 4.7 million. Their app user traffic, representing the most loyal Target customers, was off even more, down 14% from 4.2 million to 3.5 million. By comparison, Costco experienced a 22% rise. Okay. The lines at Costco are basically, like it's like they've
in the city, baby.
like they're saying it's like nothing anyone has ever seen before. Like it is miles around the clock. They said the last time that they've seen lines like this was COVID.
You know, Costco is where the Negroes go now. Like that's where, like, meet me at the Costco. Me and my sister meet up at the Costco. Like, what are we gonna get? Costco. Maybe that's where you'll find slightly little glasses at Costco. You want to get some cheese? Go to Costco.
If Costco was smart, and I said this before, and I will say it again, if Costco was smart, I believe that they would actually make like small stores in addition to their big bulk stores. Like remember when Target created like Target Market, what are they called? Like Target Marketplace. Like they were like little baby Targets.
Yeah, in New York.
They have them in LA too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be called city Targets because they're a little bit smaller. They're a little bit more compact. You get certain stuff there, but yeah, you
can get your basics, but it's not going to be like the OD of Target. But that to me is what Costco needs to do. Like Costco could come up so crazy right now if they was really about their business. I mean, let's look at let's look at this graph for Target. Okay. Now, Target, look at this line. It's just a downward trend. Just a downward trend.
And you know they're gonna come back with some BS, like some word salad, like we are still committed to the initiatives of people being in the store and those people being we don't see.
Oh my God.
some pure nothingness.
Now, what I will say though is that as we are watching the shareholders for Target trying to spin this, like Adrienne just said, we're also watching the government try to spin that we're not going to go into a recession, which we are. By the way, y'all, I've been doing some research on this and they want a recession. A recession is good for oligarchs.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why a recession is good for oligarchs, for those who don't know, is because it drives everything down to being dirt cheap. And the people who have the money for losing in the stock market, they can buy things dirt cheap, knowing that the stock market will come back up and they will then really turn up and come up. So that's why you don't see any panic when people are talking about this recession. Also, the tariffs was a short version of this. The tariffs came out, it drove the stock market down. Y'all, they bought up all the stocks. And guess what? He just reversed the tariffs today from Mexico. So now they came up.
It's insider trading from the White House. Like that's what it is. I think the bottom line is as flawed as they were, slavery, I don't think the forefathers ever predicted someone quite this amoral in office, quite this upfront.
Well, quite this un-American.
Yeah, literally. This is Russia. Like, guys, remember all the propaganda where the Russians were bad? Hello, knock knock.
I do think the forefathers at the end of the day were still like, this is ours.
Oh,
right? Like that was their mindset. Like we're making something for us. It's only for us. It's only for us.
White landowning men.
Yes. Right? And the WLOMs. But Trump is very clearly like, I'm not even just for that. He's like, this is for anybody who want to get a piece. Like he's the worst kind of pimp.
Oh, 100%. Trump is a pimp named Slickback. Like that is who he is. He's the albino slickback. Like that is who this man is. This man doing bigoted QVC commercials for Tesla on the White House lawn.
We're going to talk about that later in the show. It's a mess, is what it is. It's a mess. I just wonder, where I am right now is I want to be helpful. I want to be action-based. And I want to be able to provide tools for folks on how to even manage, because the only thing that's going to stop this is actual revolution, and that's not going to happen. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see white folks doing what needs to be done to stop this, which is destruction.
I mean, literally, when they lost a lawful election, they tried to that's how empowered the other side is. They had a riot. They committed treason. I don't see liberal-leaning people physically going somewhere to assault folks in the foreseeable future.
No. Ms. Latia say, y'all on tariffs, Dems put forth a bill to stop the state of emergency that DT enacted. Congress can stop it, but Republicans didn't want to vote, so they deemed this Congress session is one day. Well, I'm not sure I understand this comment. But I will say, okay, then Ms. Latia said, after the bill, there's 15 days to vote instead of having a vote on record. Republicans stop time. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That is, yes, they did do that. But the thing is that Congress is not acting as Congress. And I think we need to understand that. And it seems like the Democrats don't understand that.
Right? We're going to wear pink. We're going to hold up paddles like this is a Christie's auction.
What'd you call it? Nazi Apollo?
Nazi Apollo. Showtime at the Nazi Apollo. Just stand it up.
Tonight.
Every 30 seconds, like trained seals. What?
Not too much on seals.
Sorry. I take it back. I take it back.
Not too much on seals.
I take it back. Why bring seals into this? They did nothing to anyone.
But I just, and now I'm starting to feel like, honestly, talking about the Democrats, for me, it's starting to just feel like low-hanging fruit because they're so obviously ridiculous that I don't even know what's they're acting like laws matter. They're acting like the Congress matters. And, we're going to talk about later in the show, y'all, this critical thinking exercise around the judiciary, because Trump is 1000% undermining the judiciary, and he's doing it real quiet in the background, and they're making a king. They're making a king. This is the making of a king. When the documentary happens in 30 years, it'll be called The Making of a King. And I will be in my house in Grenada, and I will say, I saw it coming, because I got to talk with an accent by then. I saw it coming, I saw them making this king right in front of my eyes. They're actually going to come and interview me. They're going to come and interview me. They're going to come to Grenada and they're going to interview me.
It'll be called She Be Knowing. It took them 30 years to make to make a sequel.
No, we say goddamn.
It took them 30 years to make a sequel, but it happened. It happened. Yeah, we got it.
Blakely, you are such a delight. I mean, these are the darkest of times, and it really does end up being laughing to keep from crying in many ways. And so thank you for coming on and joining us. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you for having me. Have me back. Joy is revolution, kids. That's revolution. We might not get a real one, but just you can laugh sometimes. It's okay.
Listen, when I see Palestinians laughing, I'm like, you better laugh, Amanda. It's
you better walk past that Target and giggle.
I'm really trying to work up the energy to go in Target and ask Black people why are they in Target. I saw a video where this woman did that, and I was like, that is revolution that I want to do. I want to be, hey sis, why you in here? We.
Are you okay?
We that we are absolutely boycotting this place, right? Because this video, I saw this video, and this lady was just like, sis, why you in here? And they was like, And she was like, yeah, I caught you. I got you. And you know, but then some people were like, honestly, thank you for keeping me honest.
Yeah.
Like you said, you had to tell your sister.
I was like, you don't need. I was like, go to the website, go to the brand's website. She's like, it's a Target brand. I'm like, well, fuck your face then. Sorry.
It's over, y'all. This is a non-monetized episode, but we tried.
I'll Venmo you.
Y'all give it up for Blakely Thornton.
Thank
for joining
you.
us for 60-second headlines. Thank you so much. Stay up, stay joyful, all the things.
All right.
All the things. Y'all, what a lovely joy. What a joy. What a joy. Shout out to Blakely, man. I needed that today. Because it's just constant, just frustration and annoyance. But this video is absolutely not going to be monetized, so for that reason, I think it's time to, hey, come on now. What's up? Show your love. Show your love. Show your love. Hey, y'all. Show your love. I said, drop a super in the chat, baby. Hit me on the Cash App, baby. We had a good time just now. Blakely had us laughing. It's a really terrible time, but it's gonna be up to you and me to remain joyful and knowledgeable. Show me love, and I'll show you love back. Show me love, I'll show you love back. Show me. Show me. Show it up and do da. Stop to see do la do da. Debe mirar más fotos. I just threw it some Bad Bunny for you at the end. Debe tirar más fotos. Thank y'all for the supers. I appreciate you for showing me love. Let's get into this. Let's get into some Black Hero News. How about it?
Black Hero News. Politics. Black Hero News. Pop. Culture. Black Hero News. Sports. Black Hero News. Justice.
Well, your man, Elon Musk, he's had a heck of a week, guys. Let's talk about that. Everybody hates Elon.
Here goes my Elon Saxmobile. I'm donating it to NPR.
We are going to resist, and we're going to resist together because nobody can tolerate this.
We will not tolerate a deporter-in-chief.
Enough was enough with the Sieg Heil, the heartfelt autistic salute.
Tesla burns to a crisp. That's the caption on this now viral video of a charred Model 3.
Tesla show its annual EV sales decline for the first time in more than a decade.
We're ripping up Ontario's contract with Starlink.
You know, Elon, I don't really, take him seriously. He's not a serious guy. And he is, he's been slashing and burning the federal government at the expense of, folks that are just trying to get by and live their lives. And many of those are veterans.
They're setting fire to various Tesla charging stations near Boston. Shots were fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon. Various nonviolent...
Shots fired, not a metaphor.
Shots fired, yes. Downtown New York, marching against the Tesla showroom.
Everybody hates Elon. We hate you. This really is a guy that it's very easy not to like, okay? He says things that he don't got no right to be saying, and he does things that he doesn't and shouldn't have any right to be doing, but he has been given the right to do them. And here he is really illuminating for you why the latest reason why everybody hates Elon.
I mean, the way it's important in entitlement spending, which is which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. That's like the big one to eliminate, because that's the sort of $500 billion, maybe $700 billion a year. That is also a mechanism by which the Democrats attract and retain illegal immigrants by essentially paying them to come here.
I need y'all to understand how ridiculous this person is, how they really have no purpose in this government other than to ruin your life. To ruin your life. Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, calling these entitlement benefits as if Americans shouldn't be entitled to them. This idea that these rich people have, that anybody who isn't rich should get nothing, is really grounded in the concept of feudalism from the medieval era, which is, you're going to work for me and I'm going to control everything in your life. And you know that, which is why you're going to keep working for me. I'm going to control your access to healthcare. I'm going to control your children's access to school. I'm going to control your access to food. And if you don't do what I tell you, then I'm going to stop all of those. This is also slavery. This is what these people want to go back to. Subjects. So when you see someone like this, that's what they're on. And then you see this person doing this.
What Secret Service go crazy? Thank you.
I mean, if you actually drove it around, it would really be wild.
Wow. That's beautiful. This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer. That's beautiful. Wow.
This is unbelievable. We're literally watching Donald Trump do a Tesla car show in front of the White House. And I'm looking at MAGAites and I'm looking at Republicans and I'm like, when do you say it's too much? When do you say, you know what? Okay, all right, like or does that never happen because you have committed yourself so far and deep into this that you're just going to have to go along with it or else you'll feel bad about yourself? I don't know, but it is bonkers to me that they did this while they are actively firing people from all these jobs. Veterans are being fired. They just took away the health benefits for survivors of 9/11. Yes, I believe I saw that this morning. Let me get the video for you so that I can make sure that I am correct in this assertion. Okay, so yes, they are. They are cutting healthcare for 9/11 first responders. This is when, and I want you to know, a lot of them, I'm sure, voted for Donald Trump. But that is a fact. So the F around and find out era happens in real ways right now, where you're seeing people say, wait a minute, I had no idea that this was going to go this far. And I don't know, but I'm really concerned about the fact that, yes, a lot of us are on the same page in the very genuine fact that everybody hates Elon. But I don't think a lot of us understand how deeper it is than Elon. What happens in this country so often is they just essentially make a bad guy and then they point everyone towards the bad guy. And while everyone is looking at the bad guy, they're over there doing sleight of hand in the background, which brings us to this next segment, our critical thinking segment for this week. Let's get it. I love that intro so much. Oh my goodness. Okay. Donald Trump is nullifying the judiciary. Donald Trump is nullifying the judiciary. Okay. And I want to thank Carrick at _Ryan for making these slides that make it so helpful and easy to talk about this, because it is imperative that we understand what we're headed towards. In the past 2 weeks, Trump has taken unprecedented steps to really shut down the judiciary. Now, remember, we have 3 branches of government. We have the legislative branch, which is Congress, which is comprised of the Senate and the House of Representatives. We have the executive branch, which is the president and vice president and their cabinet. And then we have the judicial branch. The judiciary is the Supreme Court. I have always said that the Supreme Court have been the dictatorship that America is living under, because the Supreme Court, we know, puts justices on the court for a lifetime. Those justices are carrying out the understanding of the Constitution based on their version of whatever it is. Now, we know, though, that in the past 20 years, a number of justices on the Supreme Court have been put there for the purpose of their connectivity to right-wing and Christian theocratic thought processes. We know that they have been bought and paid for in the case of Alito and Clarence. We know that their effort is not to uphold the Constitution as flawed as it is, but to uphold the will of the folks who have paid them, the folks who they're hanging out with at Bohemian Grove, the folks who they are going on trips with, etc. They are bought and paid for, and because of their position on the Supreme Court, they have also not been really checked. There is no real check and balance for the Supreme Court in the same way that there is for Congress and the executive branch. But that being said, Trump is also making it his business. He's already gotten Congress to do what he wants them to do. Now he's making it his business to undermine the efficacy of the judiciary to be able to check and balance him. This is how Putin took control of Russia. They make resistance costly. Okay? So this is how they do this. On March 6th, he signed an executive order requiring any plaintiff wishing to challenge the legality of his actions in court to provide up front a bond covering the totality of the government's legal costs. And this bond would be forfeited in full if the case fails. Now, in the past, there was a ruling where the Supreme Court basically said, well, and this is post Reconstruction, where they were like, well, you can't sue the federal government. And so if you can't sue the federal government, then you cannot challenge when the Constitution is not being upheld against you. I mean, when the Constitution is not being upheld for you. Here, he takes it another level. The bond is meaning a fee. This is saying that if you want to challenge how any of his passing executive orders is affecting your rights, that you will have to present a fee in order to do so. I guess maybe it would go in escrow or something like that. But most people cannot do this, of course. Also, why would citizens of this country have to pay the legal fees of this country? That is treating this government as separate from its people. Why are we paying taxes if our government is separate from us? Why are we paying taxes to them? The taxes that we pay are supposed to be for the government to use to help us. That is what this budget that they're talking about, that they're saying they're going to shut down the government if they don't pass a continuing resolution. This budget is supposed to be allocated for the assistance of American people. That's why when people like Elon Musk are talking about entitlement, it's like, what are you talking about? We are entitled to these things. This money is not coming from nowhere. This money is being generated by the people of the United States. On the 7th, Donald Trump signed an executive order banning not-for-profit workers from a federal loan forgiveness program if they were deemed to have engaged in improper activities. Now, this is a bill that's already on the House floor. If it's not on the House floor, it's definitely in committee. Actually, no, I think it passed, right? No, I think it passed through the House, and this has to go to the Senate now. This has been looked at as related particularly to pro-Palestine support, right? However, this is also bringing up the possibility that it includes any non-for-profits that challenges policies in court. The ACLU, the NAACP, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when you're seeing these things happening, oftentimes what people in the United States will do, what are we calling ourselves again? USians? Often what USians will do is we will do this cognitive dissonance thing where we will use their language and make it make sense in a way that makes us feel safe. I know this because I have done this for years to make myself feel safe. And we will say, oh, improper activities, well, then we don't have to worry about that because, I mean, just don't engage in improper activities. It's the same language that you'll see white folks who are all about the police say when they say, well, you should just comply. You should just comply. It's a cognitive dissonance that presupposes that anything acting in a sanctioned way by the government is acting in the best interest of the people. That's a brainwash that we have been absolutely indoctrinated to believe. These are all clearly designed to deter anyone from using the courts to restrain him. And I agree with Carrick Ryan in saying that they will work. Almost no one will have the money available to provide the necessary bond to get their day in court. And even if they did, how many lawyers would want to take that job? Which brings us back to this executive order. Because what a lot of folks do if they don't have the money to go to court, and this is regardless of the executive order of the bond, is they then go to organizations that specialize in this. So, last week we had two journalists on that were talking about how there are organizations that will fight on behalf of LGBTQIA plus cases. If you don't have the money, they have raised money to be able to fight cases for you. And so when he passes this particular executive order that says that not-for-profit workers will no longer get federal loan forgiveness if they were deemed to engage in improper activities, it is now saying that you will not get that money. If you got a federal loan, you need to pay it back. That's no longer support. That is borrowing, which then means there's interest on that. So what they're doing here is they're crippling the ability for the people to use the Constitution to represent them, utilizing executive orders and capitalism. Now, I want to know from you all, when you are seeing these steps being taken, what are your initial thoughts on how to manage or how to challenge them? Because a lot of people in this chat work in organizations that do get for-profit funding. A lot of us also don't necessarily understand how corporations utilize philanthropy to get out of tax paying. If you are now saying that for corporations that make all this money don't have to pay taxes, you alleviate their, it wasn't ever altruistic, but you alleviate their need to pool money into philanthropic spaces in order to get tax breaks. So now you are undermining the ability for there to even be philanthropic spaces to support the people in ways in which the government isn't supporting them. So the dovetail of this becomes far greater. And it's like they've thought of everything. This is all to cripple the people. And I've been really wondering, at what end? At what end? To what end is there a crippling of the people? Now, Tiffany asked, what about the United Nations? We have to remember that the United Nations was created, by and large, by the United States. The United Nations was created to, bring together the world after World War II, if I'm getting this right, to basically say, like, we're not going to let that happen again. Let me just check my sources. Yes, October 24th, 1945. Okay, I knew I wasn't bugging. So the United Nations is supposed to be, we are the world. Ooh, we are the children. All the children, we are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start living. Let's start living. There's a choice you're making. We're saving our own lives. And we want a place for you and me. Ooh. We're talking about really serious stuff. So any chance I get to sing, I'm going to do it, because singing is my stimming. Okay? And it is imperative that we stem in the midst of this. Melissa Bruntlett is a guest request. I will look into who Melissa Bruntlett is. I don't even know who that is, but I'm going to look her up. I'll tell you that. I'm going to look her up. Sorry for waking you up, Jedi. Melissa Bruntlett. So the United Nations gets created, and the Security Council in the United Nations is comprised of countries that basically can veto things. So they really run the United Nations. The United Nations is not really a United Nations in equality, because there are nations that have more power than others. The Security Council has a vote where America can veto anything on the Security Council. We saw that for months and months and months and months with Palestine. And in the past, the same thing was happening with the Democratic Republic of Congo. And they was doing all type of shady stuff. So the United Nations as a resource, I don't think is a real option. Keeping in the Michael Jackson of things, Mike said, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. This also will require us to start looking at the man in the mirror. Ooh, I'm asking us to change our ways. Ooh. And no question could appear any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, better look at yourself and make the change. Woo! That's not the note. The note is up there, but I'm going to sing it down here. Ooh, ooh, Woo! Na 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 na. And Disco Kitchen official brings it back. It's going to take blood to stop this. I'm not willing to give an ounce. They owe me already, is what Disco Kitchen said. And I don't disagree with you. I just don't know that it's possible to avoid. Because right now, it's not touching you. Yeah, but it's going to. Okay? It's going to touch everybody. And when you see the extent to which things are taking place, I don't even know that we can wrap our heads around the ways it's going to touch everybody. But I do want everyone to try their best to go and check out hold on. Percopolis. No, that's not what it is. Hold on one second, because I can find the name of it. And Persepolis, I think, is the name. So it's this graphic novel about basically the childhood in Tehran of this artist, Marjan Satrapi, and the subsequent Iran-Iraq war, and her experience in the Islamic Revolution. And it's a whole series, but it really is important for us to have a grasp of where things are. Yes, Persepolis. Thank you, Bronx James. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't know that we're still in the place of how do we stop this? I keep saying that because I just feel like that's where my natural heart goes. Like, how do we stop this? How do we stop this? And then I also know that it's not something that's easily stoppable when you don't have people that know how to stop things. So with Darren T said, I think we should let him dismantle everything and then oust him. And I think that sounds great. I don't know that that's possible. Shelley said, they are doing the work for us, tearing down the government and working against their own white supremacy. We can reimagine new systems. We got this. Okay, Shelley. Okay, Shelley. Okay, Shelley. You right. Let me not be defeatist on this Wednesday. You right. Let me not be defeatist on this Wednesday, Shelley. Man. Who's in here saying troll stuff? There's somebody in here saying troll stuff? Point them out. Who's in here saying troll stuff? Point them out. Point them out so we can get them out of here. Somebody in here is an op? Where they at? Where are they at so we can get them out of here? Because Rolando is on it. Where are they? Sarah. Yeah, I don't know that she's been saying troll stuff, but because I may have missed stuff. Persepolis is a frequently banned book which started with Chicago Public Schools, pulled it from classrooms and libraries in 2013. Really? I did not know that. I'm watching the chat. Y'all are funny and I love it. I really do. And Rolando is also very mindful. He's not just kicking anybody out for anything. Okay? Like Bullet the Bunny said, sometimes it's not just trolling. Someone's just wrong. Okay? Someone's just wrong. But I want to remind us all what Shelley said. So let me bring it back. Because Shelley reminded us that we have to keep our eyes up. They are doing the work for us, tearing down the government, working against their own white supremacy. We can reimagine new systems. So let's do that. So let's reimagine in this moment. Let's reimagine new systems. Okay, in this moment. So, boom. In this moment, they're tearing down all the things, right? So they're tearing down nonprofit support from major corporations. They're tearing down the ability for folks to support themselves because they don't have jobs. So how do we then get these places funded? How do American nonprofits get funding to support American people? How do we do this? I have an idea already. How do we do this? Actually, it's a really good idea now that I say it out loud. Now that I say it in my head. How do we do this? What are ways in which, because at the end of the day, it's still going to need funding. All right. You're still going to need funding. And the American dollar is going lower, but at the present, we're still going to need funding. And so what are some ways, or what, even just name one? Amanda, sometimes it's just people not appreciating and respecting your intellect, which I don't understand, because why wouldn't you want to be educated? Oh, baby, Jazz LP, people don't want to be educated, I think, because then that means they're going to have responsibility. Ooh. Also, people just don't like my tone, so they think I'm telling them what to do. All right. Now, someone said, by the people. I don't like the term devil's advocate. I'm more so just providing counterpoints to get to the main point. So let's say we're talking about funding and how to get funding. Now, remember, this is our critical thinking exercise for our week. So how do nonprofits that help the people support the people if they don't have funding? So Dans and Jay said by the people. Now, remember, they are also making it incredibly difficult for people to support themselves individually because money is becoming a lot less available. So I don't know that by the people is a realistic way, at least by the American people is a realistic way. Kismet said we need to have mutual aid in each state. Okay, if we're talking about mutual aid in each state, what does that look like in a genuine fashion? So I know that there's like farmers that sell stuff around my way, right? But they sell it for way more than you would get at the grocery store. Like the farmer's market is not necessarily, it's better quality, but it's also going to be higher prices. So when we talk about mutual aid, are we simply talking about things that we are like getting rid of? Like I know right now I have, I can add to mutual aid by things that I no longer want. But where do we continue the mutual aid? How do we continue it growing once we are now also in need ourselves? Jenny Ray says, nonprofits being federally funded prevents them from speaking to the core cause of the issue or critiquing the system, capitalism, 1,000,000,000%. So this is a great point in connecting with what Shelley was saying, because Shelley was saying, well, they're breaking it down from the inside, and so we can imagine new systems. And this is a valid point. If a nonprofit is federally funded, then they have limitations on them based on those federal funds that prevent them from being able to do what they actually are supposed to do. Let's also note that there are a number of nonprofits that have cracked the code that they don't really got to do much. They just got to be in a pocket in order to continue to get that money, right? So, Vanessa, unfortunately, there are laws that prevent them from being able to give away food. There are laws that prevent them from being able to get food. Kay Leave says, I believe we need a decentralized grid, not giving the government money for utilities or food, rethinking how our infrastructure works to benefit the whole. I think that's a fabulous concept. I don't know personally how that gets really enacted. Zenzel Cooper says, these are generational struggles. No one person can stop it. Only the organized masses in our own party can make fundamental changes. Yes. So one of the things that I think is that this is where there has to be more of a global presence. America, the United States of America, has 1000% had our blinders on. And it does not have it's not built into our consciousness to look at the rest of the world as a resource. Namely, because the United States is always looked at as, oh, we're the best. So why would we look at anybody else if we are the best? How is anyone going to help us if we're already the best? This thought process is what makes so many people feel like they don't want to travel. This thought process is what makes so many people feel like there's nowhere better than the United States. And the truth of the matter is, the United States is not the best. We operate oftentimes on a very low quality standard in our food, in how we build structures, in how we do healthcare. So we are not the best. I think that there has to be, instead of the thought process that we are funding everything, there really is going to start being a very real cry for folks and agencies and nonprofits in the United States to get funding from outside sources, to get funding from sources in the global community. And I don't think that that's happening on the level that it could be. It feels very much like it is, if you don't get it from us, then you can't exist. And I 1 million per town. I just know that that's not that's not how it's going to have to. That's not how it's going to last. And even if they attempt to shut that down, there are ways around that too. Mackenzie has a book recommendation. The revolution will not be funded beyond the nonprofit industrial complex. Ooh, wee. Yes. Beauty said Black farmers need to connect directly with other buyers globally. I think Black farmers also may benefit from growing items that are needed in products that are utilized in other places. I don't know. Can you grow shea butter? Can you grow shea nuts here in the United States? I don't know. Can you grow jojoba here in the United States? I mean, I'm asking a genuine question. I don't know. I actually don't know. But I think it's really imperative that we start traveling when we can, if we can, and making connections outside of this country, understanding that we are here in a contract in a context that is no longer world leader. Y'all be saying stuff that, let's have the author as a guest. I don't know the author. Amara. I don't know the author. Like that, when y'all say that, that's like when my mom called me like casually on a Tuesday and was like, you should do a song with Lenny Kravitz. Ma'am, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? As if I was not doing a song with Lenny Kravitz. What do you, yeah. But she said it to me like I genuinely, like this was just something I hadn't considered. So President Pilgrimage says cooperatives and intentional communities that grow their food and trade. CO Voice of Dissent, Power of the People, create a state level book I think RECA's recommendation, Viral Justice, How We Grow the World We Want. You should have Godfrey on. Been following. He speaks out against a lot of BS. He also seems to be worldwide. I know Godfrey very, 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 very well. Yeah, I'll hit him up. And Yes. Okay, but he was accepting funding from Muammar Gaddafi. It was like $1 billion. And I personally feel like that was silly. Why did you think they would give you the money that way? Like, sometimes you gotta know your enemy. Like, what are we, why would you think that you was going to get $1 billion from Muammar Gaddafi and the government was going to let that happen? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So that makes me feel like that was actually more of something for like a different reason, because they could have got that money through Western Union. Okay. Like, there was so many other ways that they could have got that money. Like, I remember when one of my exes was coming to the United States. I mean, he was coming to visit me, and he had a bunch of he tried to bring a bunch of money. And I was like, why are you trying to bring 16 racks on a plane? I guess he was trying to hit a lick or something, but I was like, why are you trying to bring 16 racks on a plane? You cannot bring 16 racks on the plane. They're going to find that money. Don't bring more than 3 racks. Have your father, Western Union, you the money. Like, what are you talking about? Y'all, they took his money in the airport. They took his money in the airport. Like, yeah. And then he had the nerve to say, will you write a letter? Nope. I won't write nothing. I won't write nothing. Because that didn't make no sense. Why would you do that? I have no experience doing anything shady. No, he didn't get it back, Adrian. He sure didn't. He sure didn't. But he still... You know, Trini Dominican, I appreciate you deeply in this moment. I appreciate you deeply in this moment. Mm-hmm. I do. Laurel, he wanted me to write a letter to Michigan stating that I could vouch that this money was legal. And I'm not putting my name on nothing with you. No. Muhammad Speaks made money. This is a Truth Be Told production. Said Muhammad Speaks made money, made it, spent it. Muhammad Speaks made money, made it, spent it. When we certain donations, can we not suggest community with all? What is this sentence? Muhammad Speaks made money, made it, spent it. When we certain donations, can we not suggest community with all? Cause Muhammad, I'm saying, was I'm a household of a Hassan, and do I have a story? I don't understand this sentence, my brother. I need y'all to use punctuation. At the end of the thought, I need you to put a period so I can read it, clearly. You can't just write it all as one thought so that I can properly represent what you're expressing. I feel like you was expressing something that we really needed to know, but I just didn't understand that. So can we give it another go, my love? Also, when we in the chat, I know y'all be typing, trying to get the thought out before I move on. So I respect that, but I didn't really like Cast. I felt like her thesis I don't know, like I felt like the thesis itself was kind of like unnecessary. Like I felt like the thesis was essentially saying like racism is XYZ, but the XYZ is a part of a bigger alphabet, which is caste. And I don't know, like I just felt like it was a lot of words for that, because I didn't feel like that was not clear, and I did feel like the Warmth of Other Suns was much clearer. I did. I just felt like, Okay, I'll check out the issue. Yeah, I was like this because I really do believe that the truth is a short route. And it's like, why is this book so big? Why is this book so big? Yeah, I don't know. Saira, I don't know what happened to Saira. I think she said something and she never came back. She's not anti-black. And by the way, there were many black women that had come to me like Saira, she's problematic. Saira Rowe is problematic. And I was like, how? But they could never tell me how. And I was like, how is she problematic? Like, I'm not saying that I'm not discounting your point of view, but you haven't stated your point of view. How is Saira Rowe For the Kids problematic? And none of them could tell me. None of them could tell me how she was problematic. So I felt like just because you're black and I'm black doesn't mean I'm just gonna jump on a bandwagon with you in shading somebody, because that doesn't resonate with me as somebody who is constantly shaded by other black people. So I can't feel like I can't simply just go along with that just because you want to gang up on somebody. I need to know why. And also I know that the gang up a lot of times be on some BS. I've been ganged up on before by white women who were telling me that I was wrong for telling a dark-skinned black woman that it's not okay for her to call me a white woman simply because I am expressing that I exist as a black woman, even though I'm light-skinned. That's not okay. You sound like a white woman. No, I don't. I sound like a light-skinned black woman asserting that I also have a black experience, that in no way am I trying to undermine yours. In no way. You have a different black experience than mine, 1000%, but you don't get to call me a white woman. No. So, I just, for those who've heard of Saira Rowe, like that's my thoughts on that. I think that people make errors, and I think that people have blind spots. And I think that Saira is very direct and brutal, and I contribute the hard turn in my radicalism to Saira Rowe. A single phone call from Saira Rowe took me down a whole other path than I never would have been down, than I never would have gone on. So I'm going to give her props. And when she did say she had said something sideways on the internets, and I did say that was sideways, correct that. So there's that. And the last thing I got to say, because we're just hanging out at this point. We're just here hanging out at this point. It's to bring us back to our point where Angela Easter says, we actually have partnerships here in Oklahoma to create food economy in our numerous food deserts here in Oklahoma. I would love to hear more about that. Is there anybody that is out there in Oklahoma that could come on and talk about that? I would love to hear more about that, because food deserts is a real thing and it's only going to get worse. And I would love to hear how that is actually happening. And I think it's really, you can also, I'm going to create a way that you all can suggest folks. If you're on Patreon, that's a great way. And the next Passage Posse and the next review session, I have to finish my book. So honestly, like any extra stuff I'm doing, I got to pause. I got to pause until I finish my book, because I've really been trying to juggle everything and I'm not winning. I'm losing the fight. So I really got to figure out, I got to finish my book, and I can finish it, but I'm going to have to pump the brakes on other things. By the way, Small Doses Podcast, new episode is out. Side Effects of Data as Revolution with the incredible Mona Shalabi. Check out a clip.
Realized that was actually super problematic. We had a conference where one of the people who was going out and doing the interviews to the Iraqi family said to me, "Oh, it's all wrong." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, you're giving us these questionnaires that ask people, do you need food, shelter, clothing, whatever?" He was like, "But when we go out and do the questionnaires, people say, we don't need these things. We need electricity generators. But electricity generators aren't one of the options on the form." And so I really quickly came to realize that, like, if you're not sharing information with the people who are directly affected, with the people who are in the chart that you're depicting, if I'm making a chart about single mums need to be able to see that chart and tell me, you got this right.
If this chart is accurate. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I just realized that the only way to do that would be to go into journalism and to basically, like, unapologetically seek out the biggest audiences possible. And I very quickly realized that you have to, I hope if you do your job well, you quickly become humble.
Mona Shalabi, genius, brilliant journalist. Check her out. You can follow her on Instagram and check out the latest episode of Small Doses Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Let those ads play. Let it rock. Download the episode. All the things. Y'all, it's been a long day. It's been a long show. But, before we go, I got to hit you with a public service announcement. Oh my gosh, why do I do that every time? AmandaLand. PSA. So, I am somebody who, just started AmandaLand Exports. And in AmandaLand Exports, I am a very small business seeking to bring my art to the people through my my avenues of social media and live shows, etc. And I want to bring you all quality products. I want to bring you all sustainable products. I want to do my best to be thoughtful in these ways, but I don't know everything, and the internet doesn't tell you everything. So I've been trying to connect with folks who I know that not only have I supported, but who I know make quality merchandise, and ask them, like, who are your manufacturers? Like, who do you all go to? And it really is unfortunate how capitalism has us in a chokehold to where folks don't want to share where they get things made, as if I am their competition. And by the way, even if I am competition, I am such a small specter of competition. And the gatekeeping is unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. I don't exist like that. I don't exist. Thank you, Bullet the Bunny. I'll check that out. I don't exist in a gatekeeping mindset because I live in an abundance mindset. And in the abundance mindset, you understand that there really is enough for everybody. There is space. And I am finding so annoyingly that people who love to talk about community don't want to act on it. There's a creative who had asked me, who reached out to me. They reached out to me because my former employer had reached out to them. And they learned that I had no longer had my radio show. And so they reached out to me to say, I don't want to step on your toes. They're talking to me about possibly coming in. I don't want to step on your toes. And I was like, you're not stepping on my toes. I'm not there anymore. And it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. So what I'm going to do is help you. You didn't have to call me. I am amazed and appreciative that you did. And so I gave them the cities where all of my shows were syndicated, the list of those cities, so that they could cross-reference how they are successful in their work in those similar cities, so that they could strike a deal that is representative of what they can actually, bring to the table with some knowledge, some scoop. And I don't even want to call that generosity because it gives it more aplomb than it deserves. Ultimately, it's just like, why don't we share? This is why I love bonobos. Because bonobos as a society share. When they come up upon other when they come up upon other bonobo clans in the jungle, they don't fight them. They like, you good? What you need? Like, that's what I'm on. You good? What you need? Now, if you come at me sideways, I don't got nothing for you. But if I've already shown you support and love, and all I'm asking for is a list. All I'm asking for is a list, and instead you send me an Instagram link to a company that does embroidery. Child, I was so hot. And they definitely got a piece of my mind. They definitely got a piece of my mind. I definitely want to just figure out how to support other small businesses while I am making my products as well. And it's just crazy how folks make it so hard. It really is. And I'm working as such a small space. I'm working at such a small space, and I do certain stuff with Uline, but the goal is, no, Mark didn't shut me down. They do have merch, but I don't know. They have t-shirts and stuff, and I don't want to just make t-shirts. Okay. Miss Latia say Uline is the oppressor. I don't want to make t-shirts. I want to make so for instance, in this latest drop, right? In the latest small doses, in the latest drop that I did on AmandaLand exports for Save Yourself, it has these notepads, and the notepads are from a small business. And I was able to find this small business through another company that basically has they're a marketplace for small businesses that create things. But they're an American-owned, American-made business. And, I was able to order small quantities, because that's the other thing too, is that some of these places really want you to order these large quantities. And I don't need large quantities. So I need a merchant. I have someone for pins, but I definitely need, I'm going to check out Bullet the Bunny. I'm going to check out your message, because I'm definitely the notepads are like this. They're called jotters. And the thing is that they shouldn't see me. The people I'm talking about, they should not see me as competition, because it's not even their main bag. It's not, and they don't, but when they do it, they do cool stuff. So someone said, I want a Blue's Clues size notepad. It's in the bonus bundle for this month. Save Yourself. Well, Lexi Rosa said, Miss Seals, this is my domain. I got you. I may not have someone for everything, but I do know lots of solid independent fabricators from different industries. Oh my gosh, Lexi Rosa! How can I get in touch with you, sir? Please. Please. Let's link, because your girl, Patricia said she daydreaming about the notepad. Yeah, and I got a small amount of notepads, so I'm not gonna. I doubt that I will be able to put them on sale as individual items. Because I won't be able to have a surplus. And I really try to just order. I think that the notepads they arrive today. So, anyways, Miss Latia says she had an A1 word supplier, woman owned. She didn't give you minimums, quality work on all the things. Love it. Love it. Well, oh my God, Lexi Rosa's on Patreon. Let me tell you, the SEAL Squad, if you're looking for a squad, the SEAL Squad is it. The SEAL Squad is why I was able to handle my vitamin D deficiency and why I'm back. Okay? This is why I'm back. Because of the SEAL Squad. Wait, what? Miss Latia, George Floyd happened. And she couldn't agree that he was human, so you had to drop her. Ain't that a B? When you got to drop people because they're terrible people? Ah, man. Thank you, Bullet the Bunny. I love y'all back. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, SEAL Squad forever. All right, y'all. I'm out here. I'm out of here. Thank you so much, Chanel, for joining the SEAL Squad. I appreciate you. And thank you, Yana Artist, for ordering 2 bundles and 2 pins. I appreciate the love. Y'all give me so much love. Vitamin D deficiency, you got to take you got to get a vitamin D with a K vitamin supplement. You can also eat vitamin D rich foods. Like now I started eating 2 hard-boiled eggs every day because egg yolk has a very high vitamin D content. In New York, you cannot take vitamin D from the sun from the months of December to May because of where it is latitudinally. So that's why so many of us also end up getting depression, because my psychiatrist was like, yeah, deficiencies also end up showing up as depression. Because I was like, why do I feel depressed but I'm not depressed? Why do I physically feel depressed but I'm not depressed? And then when you go on vacation and you go somewhere where you are able to get vitamin D from the sun, if you use anything higher than SPF 8, you will not take it in. Amazing. And Adrian, and eat wild salmon. Yep. Wild salmon also has any oily fish has a high vitamin D content. And but we don't do Amazon over here, Yasmin Abdullah. We don't do Amazon. Amazon is the devil. Thank you all. And someone here said something funny and I lost it. Was it Chanel? I think it may have been Chanel. Someone said, bad mind people. Coral said it. That's who said it. Coral said, bad mind people. Yes. And they're Caribbean people too. So that made it even extra annoying. Extra annoying. And so that is my public seals announcement for today. Community should be carried out in action, not just in words. PSA. Thank y'all for joining. It's been a great one, a beautiful week. I appreciate y'all. Now remember, I am here next week. We actually have a great guest next week. Nicholas Smith, the author and illustrator of the book Artivist, is coming on to talk about artivism. I will also add, though, that after next week, I'm out for the rest of the month so that I can finish my Libro. Let me tell you how serious it is. I have to board Jordy. I'm going to board Jordy for 10 days. I got to spend money to make the money because I got to board Jordy if I'm going to have a clear mind, because Jordy is a beautiful person, but he has an anxious energy. And so, you know, that energy just in presence is going to keep me from doing what I need to do. And I need to go and be all up in the library because I need to be surrounded by just studiousness. And I need to only listen to gospel for those 10 days. And that is how I'm going to finish the book. Okay? So from March 20th, because March 20th is when I'm doing Smart, Funny, and Black at the movies. Okay? March 20th. After that, don't look for me. Don't look for me. I'm going to be out of commission until the beginning of the month. And we will do our next review episode maybe at the end of the month. But I have to finish this book. The ancestors, Adrian, are going to support me. Thank you, Dish Money. And Katie said that is a plan. And it is. Okay? So it's Replay Gang. That's right, Kismet J. It's Replay Gang. Y'all know there's stuff on here to get notes from. And all that stuff. Yes, Zoo. Put me as OOO. Okay? OOO. OOO. I'm going to read my emails on Patreon. And hopefully y'all will get me together so I can continue to... I don't need to grow AmandaLand exports. I just want it to continue to be fruitful. You feel me? Thank you. I appreciate you, Robert. You know what, y'all? It's time. I don't know, y'all. I don't even know where y'all live. Not the all caps. Don't board Jordy. Don't board Jordy. We will keep it for you. Are you sure? I'm going to look at my emails in Patreon and see, because y'all are a real community. And let me quit acting like I don't need a real community, because we all need a community. 30 seconds of stillness.
Arm yourself with curiosity. Arm yourself with love. Arm yourself with community. Arm yourself with courage. Arm yourself with passion. Arm yourself with radical creativity. Save yourself. A new drop from AmandaLand Exports.
I enjoyed laughing and learning with you. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell your friends. Also, listen to the podcast. It's available everywhere pods are casted. Listen ad-free by subscribing to Patreon Amanda Seals. Come on and join the Seals Squad. Views from AmandaLand. Live 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Wednesday, with content on Thursday and Friday at YouTube Amanda Seals TV.
Smart, funny, and